see this little piece of plastic and this phone that were silently sabotaging my financial future, and I had no idea. I thought I was in control, but my money was just vanishing. So I decided to ditch the easy tap of a card for this. Let me tell you how switching to cash allowance has completely changed my life. Now I'm actually gonna show you how doing this one little tiny shift can help you go from overspending to being in the driver's seat with your money. So here's the problem. Since I've entered my 30s, I actually didn't think I had a problem with money anymore. So I get this sinking feeling in my chest about a week and a half after getting paid because there was less in my account than I feel like there should be. Like there was a slow leak draining my bank account. The real culprit? Mindless, frictionless spending. Think about it. With a credit card, you pay for it later. This puts a psychological barrier between you and the actual cost. So with the tap of a phone or a card, spending money is so easy that it's actually hard for it to register as real. With a $5 purchase here or a $20 purchase at lunch, or all of the other little tiny things that are on sale online make it really easy for us just to keep on spending. My breaking point wasn't some big dramatic movie moment. Honestly, it was me just looking at my credit card statement on my phone and looking at each purchase. Though I say live a life with intention, when I look at those things, I have to realize I was kidding myself. It's those little tiny Amazon purchases, the leaking subscriptions that I constantly forget to cancel, that were getting in the way of my values. And practically, it wasn't only getting in the way of my values, it was literally thousands of dollars. Monthly, over $1,000 on stuff that I don't even remember buying, that had no lasting effect on my happiness, that didn't change anyone's life, including my own. So it wasn't really just the spending, it wasn't just the amount of money, it was the mindless factor of it that really bothered me. And the fact that it was so frictionless, that I could just tap my card or I can click a button and it would show up in a day or two tops. It just made my life so easy that I was actually not living a life with intention, because digital money and plastic cards really just feel like money on a screen. I had no connection. I was totally disconnected from the act of paying. And I knew something had to change. So I decided to go old school. This meant putting myself on a cash allowance. Basically, having this set amount of physical cash made you realize exactly how much money you had to spend on entertainment. And having it physically in front of you makes it completely separate from your savings, your bills, and your investments. Okay, so for a lot of people, this actually means finding a realistic number. I'm going to go a bit extreme because I'm going completely frugal. So I'm going back to how much money I used to have whenever I was making $30,000 a year and actually felt more in control with my money. So let me go back to that behavior and that habit. For you, that might mean having 10% available for fun. If you're following financial experts like Ramit Sethi, you might actually even take up to 35% out in cash. But again, that's up to you. If you want to be more like me and go quite a bit tighter, knowing what you can get away with and have a fulfilling life. So on payday, I actually went and withdrew my entire allowance for these next 2 weeks. And this wasn't just about budgeting. This was actually about putting some friction back into my life to help me reset with intention. You cannot ignore every single transaction when you're spending with cold, hard cash. The goal was to getting back to having a set amount of money, and when the money was gone, it's gone. And I'm not gonna lie, these first couple of weeks have been challenging, but it's also been rewarding, because now I'm going back to what I used to do. And I remember going ahead and not only getting the cash out, but getting out the exact change. Yes, it might bother a couple of people that I'm like counting pennies and stuff, but it reminds me to be humble. It reminds me that every cent counts, that everything matters, because when you live a life with intention, you're paying attention to those little things. So 3 pennies can make a big difference because you're adding up to dollars. And for me, I was going from thinking it was just a couple of cents and to actually adding up to thousands of dollars. It's ridiculous. And that's what I did. I don't know if you can relate to that at all, But when we just keep on clicking and tapping, it just makes life so frictionless, way too easy for us. So how about getting back to counting some change? When we look at our bank account, that is only symptomatic of the life that we are choosing to live. It's a choice that we make. So if you feel like you're like me and you were overspending your money and you want to actually start to feel that friction back in your life, you want to start to feel that sense of intention, join me on Being an Adult with a Cash Allowance. This can actually change your framework for your life and not just change your finances. And this can help you live that life with intention in other areas of your life, but maybe it just starts here. And if you want to continue to learn how to live a life with more intention, learn with me, grow with me, because on this channel, we focus on being 1% better each and every day. That's all we can do in life. And making those little tiny changes can actually help cascade into other people's futures as well. Making that 1% shift will compound over time. It'll make you a better person, but it's also super contagious. So join me on this journey, join me on this life. Also join our community down in the description below. It's school, it's completely free. I believe that we can grow and learn together. We are on a low spend challenge, so join us there for entirely free, no charge, no upsell, nothing. Just join us.